Just great, even though it's gloomy.
It is a little bit gloomy here today. We don't get very many days like this. Gonna soak it all in.
Well, it rains, so that's a plus. So there you go.
Absolutely, right?
Actually, it's still raining.
All right. Well, we have some unfinished business to settle today, and we're gonna be diving right into it here at the launch of our meeting. Bailey, are you able to allow me to share my screen today? Wonderful. Thank you. And are we able to be streaming on Facebook as well? Yes, fantastic.
I'm on it right now.
Well, we have a very awesome. We have a very, very highly anticipated rematch. First thing this morning.
I forfeit.
No way, Jose. This is this is what we've been training for, right? So we are we started 2 weeks ago our Battle of the Script Masters competition. And we ended up with a tie in the first round with Ricky and Ismail. And we are going to jump right into the tiebreaker this morning. I'm taking my time, Ismail, just for you so that there's more people on the Zoom for you.
That makes me feel better.
Okay, I'm pulling out my very trusty tails, heads, my very scientific coin flipping device. Okay. Ismail, you got to call it last time, yeah? Or was it Ricky? It was Ricky. So Ismail, you get to call it this time. Heads or tails?
Heads.
Heads it is.
Perfect.
All right. Ismail, will you be going first or will you allow Ricky to go first?
I will learn from Ricky.
Ah, all right. Let's see, what are we gonna do today? Today, what are we gonna do today? All right. Hey, Ricky,
Yes, ma'am.
you're telling me that this is a really hot seller's market.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try and sell my house on my own.
I'm out of curiosity. Why do you want to do that?
You know, honestly, my neighbor's house sold in like minutes. It doesn't look that hard right now. I'm going to save myself a ton of money in that commission and just list it for sale on my own.
So what I'm hearing you say is what's important to you is the bottom line that you're going to make off of this. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, I want to save some money.
Sure. But I'm hearing it's the bottom line number that's going to get wired into your bank account at closing.
Well, yeah,
So I could show you a way
as much as I can.
Sure. And that's what everybody wants, right? Money matters. If I can show you a way where I can sell your home for more than you can, enough to cover my commission and make you a little bit more money than even that, would that be of use to you?
Well, so you're saying I'll make more money? You want to show me a way? Okay.
Yep. And
Yeah,
I can sit down and I can show you my past listings and what we've done and what I've done from a marketing perspective and a staging perspective to sell for more money than you can sell it by yourself. And here's the other thing. Do you have health insurance?
Well, sure.
Right? Do you have life insurance?
Yes.
A realtor is a way of ensuring your transaction. Yes, you could probably get it under contract for a ton of money. Now you have to do the transaction. You've got to deal with inspection and appraisal and title work, and you're going to spend hours. And in an arena that you do not have a professional background in, right? If you got sick, would you take care of it yourself, or would you go to the professional?
Yeah, I'd go to the professional. I'd go see my doctor.
Right. If your car breaks down, are you going to mess around with it yourself, or are you going to take it to the professional?
Oh, no, I take it to the mechanic.
Right. So if your biggest appreciating asset is going to be sold, why would you not involve a professional? So why don't we do this? Let's sit down. I'll show you what I do to sell for more money, to make you more money than you would make on your own. And we'll go from there. Sound good?
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Perfect.
Awesome, Ricky. Way to go. That was fantastic. Hope you guys are taking notes. You know, Ismail, you said the market's hot, right?
Very.
Yeah. You know, I think I'm gonna sell my house on my own.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Would you mind me asking what will make you decide to go on your own?
You know, I can save all those darn realtor fees and end up making more money.
I can truly appreciate that. So out of curiosity, have you ever sold a house on your own?
No, I haven't sold a house on my own before.
Do you happen to know somebody who has?
You know, well, we're in some forums online talking to some people right now who've sold their own home. It doesn't sound hard.
I hear you. Well, and I truly appreciate you doing this, you telling me this. And to be honest with you, because I'm in the business, I do talk to a lot of people that are in your position. Here's the thing that I would like for you to understand. Once you go ahead and then list it on Zillow, really the people that you'll be attracting are investors who will be most likely going to lowball you, or a bunch of other agents that will bombard your phone on a daily basis asking you to list with them. In the meantime, all the real buyers are going on the MLS because they're using agent. Why shouldn't they? They're not paying a commission fees for that. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So really, while I do hear your points, what you're going to attract in posting it on Zillow is a lot of distraction. All the real buyers are on the MLS, and in placing it on the MLS, this is also where we can get a competition to get you so much money that you will not even have to worry about my commission. Would you be concerned? Would you be interested to find out how?
Well, yeah, I think I would. I'd be interested in hearing some more.
Absolutely. So I'll tell you what. Let me grab some comps together, and then I'll bring it to your house tomorrow or Saturday morning, whichever works best for you. And then I present you the data, and based on that, we can work something together. Sounds fair?
That sounds fair.
Perfect. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay. Ooh, that was smooth. Ricky's sweating a little bit.
Ricky's
All right,
sweating a
guys.
lot. Can you tell Ismail's been practicing his scripts though?
I can tell Ismail's been practicing.
Wait.
this.
Guess with who I've been practicing though?
The student is always better than the teacher.
Right. Nope.
Iron sharpens iron, right? How tough is that, Ismail, to go up against your mentor, right? Somebody who's scripting with you. That stinks.
It might be tough for him, but it's tough being the mentor going up against him because you know you can't drop the ball.
Here's the deal. Would you rather do it here or out in the world on a client? Get good here.
Yep.
Get good here. And then go out and win the business with your sharp skills, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, you guys know the drill. Hit the chats. Is it Ricky or is it Ismail? We're gonna give it a minute and see where we're at. We may or may not have a second round today. I'm going to find out in just a second. Okay. Do. All right, we've got about 10 more seconds. Put it in the chat. Okay, I don't see anything in the chat. So here's your job, guys. Open up your chat and pick a winner. Whose script was more compelling? Which one do you think won this round? Don't worry. It's not a popularity contest. No one's going to be coming back to you and saying, you didn't vote for me, right? Whoever gets this one, oh, let's see. All right. We're going to do some tallies. I'm going to close this down in 15 seconds. So hop into the chat. Hop into the chat. Who hasn't voted yet? Who hasn't voted? Who's not Ismail or Ricky? Okay, put your vote in the chat. All right, I have some direct messages on my side. So here's what I've got. Ismail with 4 votes, Ricky with 5. It was really close to another head-to-head competition. I'm closing this out. And it looks like this is going to wrap us up for this round. Irene's not going to be able to join us today. So Ricky, you're going straight to the finals.
Awesome. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Appreciate that. That's tough. That's tough. When you're doing a script and you look on your screen and you see Michael staring at you and you see Anna staring at you and Gwen and Patrick, like that will make you better.
I hope I give you a run for your money, buddy.
I told you I didn't want none of this. I didn't want none of going up against you, my friend.
You get me there.
That was awesome. Congratulations, Ricky. Ismail, that was awesome. And you're still able to compete. We are back again. I'm going to say next week, and I don't have my calendar in front of me. So I'm probably wrong. It's either next week or the week after, though. We're back again with the next script off round. Jessica will be able to let me know which one it is. Ismail, you can still put your hat in the ring for those. Everybody else who's competed so far is still eligible to continue the competition to make it to our finals in July and become the proud script champion for our market center, have a chance to represent Colorado on the national stage, and get the VIP mega camp experience. So I look forward to hearing from all of you. Until we get to the finals, all of these scripts are coming from the same place. So you'll actually know what you're up for each week. May 12th is the next script off, just as. So there we go. May 12th, be ready for that. Hop on outfront.com, hop into the resources, kwpmresources.com. and find the script, the Battle of the Script Champion scripts. Those are the ones that we're going to be pulling from for this competition. So, so you won't have any surprises inside of that. Awesome. Congratulations, Ricky. And I so look forward to what we get to see coming up. Here we go, guys. I'm rearranging my screen a little bit so I can still see you all, and I can share my screen and we can have a nice full conversation. So, hey, it's the team meeting. We're gonna talk about a handful of things today, but I'm gonna get the commercials out of the way really, really quick. But before we do that, let's talk about who we are. Keller Williams, we identify ourselves through our mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspectives. That's our MVVBP. And so as a company, our mission is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving, right? You can see that evident in all that we do. And even in things like our Scripts Championship battle.
Yes.
Right? This is allowing you the opportunity to really sharpen your saw, to develop a business worth owning and a career worth having. So it all ties together, my friends. Our vision is to be the real estate company of choice for agents and their customers, right? By delivering the best training, the best technology, the best culture in the industry, we're able to provide the best experience for your clients and for you as an agent. Our values, it's God and family and then business, right? Our beliefs. At Keller Williams, we believe that it's a win-win or there's no deal. We have the integrity to do the right thing. Our customers always come first. We have commitment to do and all the things. Communication, we seek first to understand. Creativity, ideas before results. Teamwork, we're together, everyone achieves more. Trust starts with honesty. Equity, these are opportunities for all. And success is results through people. Our perspective is to be the technology company that provides the real estate platform that our agents, buyers and sellers prefer. KW thinks like a top producer, acts like a trainer, consultant, and focuses all of our activities on service, productivity, and profitability. And through that, we bring you the real estate company of choice, right? For you and your clients. Awesome. What do you guys think about revisiting who we are every time we get together? For some of you, this might be the first time that you've heard it. And for some of you, you may know these, right? You may already know our MVVBP. And so the question that I ask you is, how does this relate to your business, right? Do you have a mission inside of your business? Do you have your own MVVBP developed, right? What is your vision, your values inside of this business and inside of our industry? Something to consider. Let's talk numbers. We didn't get into the numbers last time that we got together, but I want to share with you what the first quarter looked like on a national level, and then we're going to bring it in to our local arena, right? KWRI nationally, first quarter, so that's going to be the year-to-date numbers. Year-to-date, first quarter 2021 versus 2020, we were up 21% in closed units and up almost 40% in closed volume. This is as a company. Listings taken were down slightly from the first part of 2020, almost 5%, 4.5%. Listings sold, however, were up 22.7%, right? So those are definitely some indicators of what we've been seeing and hearing about on a national level, right? That there's increased demand and decreased supply. Contracts written also up 16%, and our closed GCI as a company up almost 40%. So Keller Williams agents made almost 40% more the first quarter of this year than they did last year. That's pretty impressive, you guys. When we look locally, I just want to dive into the numbers from RE Colorado. So in this March over last March, sales were up 13% in the MLS. Year to date, however, sales are up 7% from where they were first quarter of 2020. However, listings taken in the Denver metro area were down 13% first quarter of 2021 over 2020. With only a slight increase in listings sold. You'll also see that contracts written was down pretty substantially too in the market. And that has a lot to do with our diminished inventory supply, right? I don't think anybody doubts that if we had more listings, we would have more sales, right? So what about our numbers? As an office, we're up year to date, first quarter, just over 20% in closed units, and trending almost even to where we were last year with listings taken down just 4%, 2020 versus 29 or 2021 versus 2020. And then we start looking at listings sold. We had a big increase there. So kudos to you guys on really increasing your skill set there on the listing taken front. But look at this, contracts written. The market's down in contracts written, but we were up. We're up pretty substantially. So you guys are doing a phenomenal job right now of going out there and finding a way to win for your clients, right? And we're going to talk a lot about that today. And your closed gross commission income this first quarter of 2021 versus 2020 was up over 35%. That's incredible. That's a huge increase in your business. But how does this all compare to the market? Let's take a look here. You guys are outpacing the Denver metro area market right now by 13.9% in closed units, right? So you've increased more than the market on closed units this year, and your closed volume is up in suit. Listings taken. While we were down year to date over where we were last year, we're actually outpacing the market. We're not down as much as the rest of the guys are, right? So you guys are finding a way. You're connecting with your spheres, your circle prospecting. You are looking for listings under rocks and finding them. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today too. Kudos to you guys with your listings sold up quite substantially year to date over the market, and contracts written. This is where you guys are shining. I know it's tough out there. I'm hearing from agents every day who are writing the umpteenth offer for these buyers, and these buyers have to get under contract because of insert compelling story here. They've all got one. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in this market unless they had to, right? Look at that, 33% almost. You are outpacing the market by 32.7% on getting things under contract, getting them sold, right? Getting your buyers engaged. This is a huge number. You can use these slides are going to be posted in the Facebook page. You can use these as part of your marketing materials for the first quarter. This is demonstration of your value. If your numbers are not yet a part of these numbers, because in the first quarter you just launched your business, then use these as our collective numbers. And because you're a part of our office, these are your numbers too. This is compelling information when you're up against multiple agents to win that client's business, right? Think about being at a listing appointment. if you will with me. Imagine being at a listing appointment. What's your seller's fear right now? What are they afraid of?
Not being able to find something to buy. They're afraid they're going to be homeless.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you guys are not in the business of making people homeless, are you? Heck no, right? So imagine how compelling that is when that listing agent is interviewing 4 different brokers, but you can demonstrate that you are outpacing the market on helping them find a replacement home. They are more likely to get under contract on their replacement home when they work with you. No one's telling them, they're not having that conversation with anybody else. Those other agents are walking in and they're saying, yeah, I can sell your house in a weekend for 30% above list price with no appraisals. Like, it's going to be awesome. You're going to make so much money. They don't care. They know that. That's why you're there. That's not the value proposition that sets you apart. It's not about you and your ego. It's about what you can do for them. And you have evidence that can demonstrate that you are better suited to help them get under contract on their replacement home. That's a different conversation. So have fun with that one and go win more listings. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Patrick, do you have an update for us?
Not a ton to update as far as rule changes, guidelines, anything like that. I am hosting the Tips and Tricks to Win Bidding Wars class again. That will be next week on May 4th. So May 4th, we'll be doing it again virtually. So I'll send out an invite and post it on Facebook. But we'll be talking about, our famous cash, appraisal waivers, appraisal gaps. We're doing a ton of first-time homebuyer down payment assistance programs. And our favorite one right now, you get a 6% second mortgage. So basically you don't have any down payment, any closing costs. You don't bring anything to the table. And then that way buyers can cover appraisal gaps. So people coming to me saying, hey, I want to do 3%, 5%, even 10% down. We'll show them the down payment assistance option as well. That way they can cover an appraisal gap if needed. And the cool,
That's awesome.
yeah, the cool thing about that down payment assistance program is the assistance is forgiven after 3 years. So after 3 years, you don't have to pay it back, as opposed to like Chaffa where you do have to pay it back. So pretty cool program.
What are the qualifications for that program? Is it pretty stringent or is it a big box?
It's a little bit more stringent. So on a conventional, you're at 45% debt to income. On an FHA, you're at 50 max. You do typically have to have a little bit higher credit score. But the coolest part of it is on a conventional, if you're within income limits, the rate's a little bit better. If you're over income limits, you can still do the program. Your rate's just a little bit higher. Whereas Chaffa, if you make more than 80,000 per year, you can't do it. So it's actually a little bit more flexible on income restrictions. So that's been really nice. And then on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, we do have our Guild Mortgage Jumbo program now with 15% down and no PMI. And that one's done in-house with us. So those are the two kind of things we're doing, but check out that class. We've been having more and more success with getting people under contract using some of those tips and tricks.
That's awesome. Are you seeing an increase in jumbo loans with our average sales price increases that we've seen?
I do quite a bit of jumbo. I don't know if there's an increase because they actually increased the loan amount to about 596 is about where that max loan amount is. What I'm seeing a lot of is a lot of first and second mortgages. I'm seeing a ton of people doing bridge loans and HELOCs on their exit property. So yeah, I do a fair amount of jumbo, so I can't really say I've seen an increase, but what I am seeing is a lot of creative ways to structure your stuff to get under contract. So
Love that.
cool.
Good. Hey, Patrick, are you able to stick around for a little bit?
Yeah.
Awesome. I want to pick your brain when we get into the next conversation here.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Donna, do you have anything for us today?
I just want to emphasize that I see more and more agents writing more and more offers in that, say, 300 to 500 price point, and just be patient. But I would also like to congratulate one of our new agents today. His name is Kevin, and he is like new for 3 weeks. He just got his new first listing last night, and it was a FSBO. So I was thrilled for him. And he's been called, I mean, right out of the box, he called FSBOs. And he won this one over because we talked at length on how to do it. And I was so excited for him last night because he did such a great job. And Kevin is one of our new agents, but he's also one of the firefighters that Matt brought in. So I was ecstatic for him.
That's awesome.
Yay.
That's awesome. What a win for Kevin. What a win for Kevin. That's fantastic.
And the price point is $370. So how are we betting how many offers he gets on this $370 house?
Gee whiz. That seller sure is going to be glad he hired a professional.
They
Right?
have tried, yeah, and they've, just so you know, they've tried for, I think, at least 2 months and have no offers. Well, nobody sees it. Nobody knows they're there.
Yeah.
So I congratulate Ricky and the way he stated his, and Ishmael, you did an awesome job on yours too. It's a hard choice.
Real life scenarios. And that comes up in conversations all the time. I love that. Way to go, guys. That's awesome. What else, Donna? Anything else today?
I would like that whoever is going to renew there's a couple of things, renew their license. There is possibility you will be audited within 6 months after your renewal. That seems to be the pattern. There's no really rhyme or reason for Dora doing that, but make sure you have all your CE credits in line. And other than that, I know many of the negotiations with our fellow agents outside of KW have been difficult, and just keep patience, and somewhere along the line you will get your deal. Other than that, I'm done.
Awesome. Awesome.
Hey, Donna, can I ask you a quick question? Can I just jump in?
Yeah, absolutely.
So one of the things that we've been seeing, and we're going to see a lot more of this, and I apologize for being a little bit late to the meeting, is that we're seeing more and more reductions of commissions. And I know it's not quite a conversation to have, but we're seeing where, builders have reduced commissions. I heard that, oh my gosh, I can't think of the name of the builder over at Green Valley Ranch. Anyway, they've reduced commissions down to 1%. And we're seeing on MLS that things are going down for like 2% for co-op agents and 2.5%. Do you think we should, because I haven't seen this happen before in my, almost 15 years of real estate. Should we be having conversations at some point about how to set up expectations with buyers, or do we just suck it up and take a 1% commission?
I think it's going to be a personal preference. Personally, I think that's they're screwing themselves. I think it's an awful thing that they're not advertising a reasonable commission, whatever that may be. But you need to have conversations with your buyer if you run across that. Do you want to avoid this? Maybe that wouldn't be the house of choice. If it's the house of choice, how do we work into the situation of where you are going to be able to cover maybe another % or and a half or whatever? That's a very difficult conversation to have with a buyer. I think you're just going to have to see how it is. I have not seen, what I've seen is that many of the builders are going from, say, 3.5 or 3 or 4 down to, say, 2.8 or something like that. I have
Yeah.
not seen anybody doing 1. And I haven't seen much of that. I have
Mhm.
seen 2.5 up to, 2.8 or 3 or whatever it is. But the bottom line is that if you're going to do that with your buyer, you're going to have a very difficult conversation, because if they want that house and your commission is stopping them from getting that house, there could be ramifications for you.
Right. Yeah. So this weekend I was out at Toll Brothers. Toll Brothers has reduced to 2%. Lennar about 3 or 4 weeks ago reduced to 2%. Century Communities to 2%. DR Horton has been the only one that I've actually got an email out on from that literally said we are going to honor our real estate partners and pay you a 3% co-op.
I would
So-
also have you write a note, an email to the
Mhm.
Builder Association. And the agreement is that they will honor it. Now, they can honor whatever, but that's the agreement with the association.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I'm just wondering how. I think that we're starting to see more and more of this. I know that I am on MLS where I'm seeing other agents paying a 2% co-op, and I'm just wondering if maybe we should, as an office, consider having some type of conversation around, what do you do?
Well,
No.
I would complain to the Builder Association, because they have agreed that they will pay us a co-oping fee. But the bottom line is that they have not agreed to screw us.
Yeah, and I feel like that's where we're headed. Is that?
It could be. In California, new home builders do not pay any agent.
Mhm. Yeah, so
So I think we're
buyers
very,
are paying that.
yeah, we're very lucky that they pay us, but we also bring them buyers. And I think the reason they're doing what they're doing is they feel that the market is so good, they don't need us, basically, is
Right.
really what it boils down to. However, realtors have a very long memory about which builder is not being nice in the sandbox.
Yeah.
And so I think I would voice a very strong opinion
Mhm.
of that.
Yeah. Okay, I just thought I'd ask you about that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Anybody else got a question? Okay, there we go.
All right, well, let's dive in today a little bit into gaining some competitive advantage. And I want to look at this in 3 different areas. And one of those, we've just talked about, right, is on the listing side of the table, because agents are or sellers are still interviewing multiple agents or thinking about going for sale by owner in this market, right? So we'll talk a little bit about what's the competitive advantage when you're on a listing appointment right now. I want to talk about what's the competitive advantage with your buyers as well, and how are we winning the contracts and the offers there, and then how can we help our buyers win, because we know that this is kind of a long game and buyer fatigue is very real. So I want to start this conversation where you guys want to start this conversation. So show of hands or put it in the chat, and I'm going to pull my chat back up. Do we want to start with a seller conversation? How to win with the seller? All right. Do we want to start with the get your buyers under contract conversation? Who wants to win getting their buyers under contract? All right. Who wants to help their buyers play the long game and keep them engaged and help with buyer fatigue? All right. So for most of you, I couldn't see your hands that were raised. So if you had your camera off, then do me a favor and hop in the chat. But the hands that I saw were, let's talk about buyer fatigue. Then let's talk about getting our buyers under contract. Then we can talk about sellers. Yeah. So Patrick, I just want to pick your brain really quick. Have you seen that, like, what have you seen as far as kind of the close rates in your world? Are you writing just as many pre-qualifications that go to closing as you used to, or has that number changed?
It's changed. So last year we closed 65% of all pre-approvals we issued. This year we're at 45. So it's been a little bit more challenging. And then I'd say I haven't actually, that math I did. This math, I'm guessing, but I would say 95% of all offers have some sort of appraisal gap or waiver that get accepted. I actually had one yesterday that did not have a gap and waiver, and I was blown away. But that's the only one I can recall recently. So.
Well, and so those are some things to be able to keep your ear to the ground on. And if you've got a really great relationship with a lender like Patrick, being able to have that conversation with him, what are you seeing right now? Because he sees a lot of behind the scenes that we don't, right? We're not writing nearly as many offers as his clients are, right? As an individual agent. So he's got a different insight into the market. But I actually had a very interesting conversation with an agent this morning who said, I think it's starting to get a little bit quieter in this one little niche. I got 2 buyers under contract there recently. I was like, that's very interesting, right? She said, and then I have another buyer up in North Glen, and we were beat out again by 13 offers. But in this one, we were just up against 4 and we won. Right. And so, you know, are these some things that we're hearing and seeing, and do we keep our ear to the ground? Because there's going to be some movement inside of that market, right? At some point, it's going to break. It's going to slow down. At some point, your buyers are going to be able to have their in. And are you looking for those opportunities? But so it's a fun conversation, because our buyers are getting fatigued. Anyone hearing from their buyers in real life that this is a challenge right now? I don't know if I'm going to do it. Anybody had somebody push back and say, I'm going to wait until the market slows down because I don't want to do the whole bidding war thing?
Yep, I see that all the time. I can comment on that. I see that all the time, and I think waiting, I don't have a crystal ball, but I think waiting's a bad decision. I think you stay in the market, you keep looking. Real estate right now is one of the best appreciating assets you can own that can continue. I don't think it's a bubble. It may be slightly leveling off, but the problem is there's just not enough houses, and it's a supply and demand thing. So I think you get in now while rates are low. When the market slows, rates will be higher. So I think every month you wait, you're just missing out on appreciation. So that's kind of what I talk to clients about. The rates are so low right now that in the long run, even if you buy now, the rates are so low that affordability is really, really good. We can't predict the future. So we can't predict that the market's going to drop, but we can kind of see that rates are going to have to go up in the next 6 to 12 months. They already did go up almost 1% this year. So we think they'll go up another 0.5 point to 1%. And so if that happens and the market doesn't dip, now you're even in a harder situation. So
Yep.
That's my thought on waiting. I would not wait.
But man, I don't want to go out every weekend and see these houses I fall in love with and then not win in the multiple offer situation, right? And so we're hearing that, we're feeling that. And here's what I suspect, you guys, we might even be feeding that with some of the conversations and the energy that we're having with our clients, right? Are we continuing to meet their home search with the same high energy we did the first time we went out to go hit a house? Right. And so this is just kind of an internal question, right? We so often can influence that piece just by what we bring to the table, even what's being unsaid. Right? So what does that look like, and how can you help get yourself back into that excited frame of mind, right? We are going to help you revisit your client's motivation for yourself. These same folks who are getting a little bit fatigued, do any of them have really compelling stories? Your heart breaks for them sometimes, doesn't it? Right? Like, we get emotionally attached to the outcomes for some of these people. So how can we help? And I think I think this conversation goes back to the expectations that we're setting. And what does that conversation look like up front for our clients? And then what are they getting exposed to on the back end? Anybody else know any other real estate agents on social media? I mean, I know a lot of real estate agents on social media, so I have eyes into it, but you guys have colleagues and friends who are real estate agents, yeah? What's the message they're sending about the market right now?
Okay, so I'm going to jump in here, and since you asked the question, the message that the majority of agents are expressing is that it's frustration nationwide. I don't know that it's global, but it's definitely nationwide. They are experiencing a lot of busyness with home buyers, and the analogy that a lot of folks are using is similar, that the home market is similar to like eating cotton candy. As soon as it appears in your hand, it's dissolved and gone. So your inventory isn't having enough time to really stack up and have any shelf life. Real estate has become the new toilet paper, the new COVID.
Yeah. And it's for those of us who are in it every day, like it's funny, right?
Yeah.
And I just saw that super clever video of the bidding war, the Apple bidding war.
Oh yeah.
Anybody
Yeah.
seen that?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
It's hilarious. And it instills a high level of fear, mistrust, and uncertainty about the future.
It certainly does. And I think a lot of experienced agents are now looking at possibly selling homes off market, because it's the best you can do for your seller, or I don't know. It's tough all the way around. It really is. So.
Well, and so what is the mindset that we're bringing in to that relationship with our buyers? Are we coming in to the, all right, are you prepared to win this, this bidding war on this Apple mindset, and setting them up for fear and uncertainty and doubt? Or are we coming in with a mindset? Are we displaying a under control, right, demeanor to our clients, right? We've got this. You've got this. You're putting your best foot forward. Every single time we write an offer, we're getting closer to the table, and we're learning what it takes to compete in this market. We've made a lot of adjustments along the way. And every single time we write an offer, we like that home more than you liked the last one.
I think it's also an opportunity for you to sell yourself. I think it's actually this competitive market is a great way to beat out the discount broker, the Redfin broker, the online broker, the online mortgage company in my case, because it's an all-out strategic battle on the weekend to try and get people under contract, which is a huge selling point for you as a local real estate agent. So what I'm telling clients is the most important thing about your real estate agent and your lender is that they can get you under contract. Your commission doesn't matter as much. The rate doesn't matter as much. It's about who's going to help you win a deal. And so I think I kind of flipped it to an opportunity, because it's
exactly
not about
right, Patrick.
price. Yeah, it's not about price. It's about, can you get me under contract? And a lot of times you don't have to be the highest. You don't have to be the highest offer. If you can reassure the seller and have good strategy, thousands of dollars.
Yeah, well, and I want to talk about some of those strategies too. Here's a strategy that's really unpopular and may help your clients get under contract. What if they start looking down another price point? I don't love that. That's not my dream home, right? I want to be up here, not here, particularly if you're in a first time home buyer market or something like that. If you can go down a price point, because appreciation is climbing so readily, they're going to be in a spot rapidly where they can get where they really want to go instead of trying to max out their budget today. Is there a way to move down to get them in so they have more wiggle room? Right? It's an unpopular strategy, but long-term can have some really tremendous impact for your clients. If you can get them into a property today, now, like Patrick said, appreciation is continuing while they own that property, they're going to be in a better position to get into their dream home, their must-have property much sooner than they would be if they didn't buy something that was just okay today. Right? So some strategies inside of there, but let's dive in a little bit to those strategies to get your client under contract. Now, we're hearing it all the time, right? You got to go X amount above list price. You've got to have that appraisal gap inside of there. You've got to, waive all of your rights and present your firstborn as an offering, right? I mean, all of these things the stars have to align just right for it to happen. But the reality is that's not the case. That's not the case. And agents are helping their clients every day get under contract when their offer wasn't even the highest. And sometimes, Gwen will attest to this, sometimes even when their offer is the highest and best, that darn listing agent just isn't doing a very good job of understanding what's on the table and having the right conversations with their sellers. So sometimes we lose literally through no fault of our own. What are we doing? I want to hear kind of from the collective. What have you seen, heard, felt, smelt, right? What's working to get your clients under contract now?
Can I just tell you that this is going to totally shoot Patrick through the roof, okay? For me, Patrick has this ability to get a buyer all the way through the approval process and to really get them approved and then close it within a matter of 2 weeks, which is about the time it takes for a cash buyer to liquidate an account and purchase a property. That is a big thing with home sellers right now, is especially when you've got a vacant property, the carrying cost of knowing that they're going to have to wait another 30 days. Yeah, that's a really, really big thing. And so Patrick's a superstar about this and his ability to get them through the process. But you're right. It's a matter of setting up the right expectations. But I think that having a great team member on the mortgage side and them being aggressive, we're in a different world. And so you have to be aggressive and set up the right expectations. And if you're doing that in such a way with the listing agent, you're having that conversation, even if it is, I'm not even kidding, texting a video to the listing agent. I know that we're not writing love letters, but texting a video to the listing agent, say, hey, we really love your property. And talking about your buyer, I think that kind of sets you apart. And it establishes a little bit of face-to-face rapport, whereas just receiving an offer from some random Joe Schmo, it's not going to have quite as the level of appeal, So
I'm going to agree with you 100%, Clinton, especially on that sending a video to the listing agent. Send a text video if you can to the listing agent.
Text video. Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing, right? We're not sending buyer love letters anymore. Right? But how can you help the listing agent fall in love with you? What does your cover letter look like? Are you hitting all of the personality types on it? Right? So that they know the instant they read their email, bullet point, here's the cool things. Okay, I'm a high D. That's all I care about. Oh, here's a paragraph about how awesome as an agent I am, right? Gwen's killing with this right now. You want to pick Gwen. Your sellers have a better chance at making it to the closing table when you pick Gwen. And she even goes and you put your stats in there, don't you?
Oh, I want to hear that, Gwen.
I waited until
I'm
she
like
took a mouthful
munching.
of food first.
Right, exactly.
That's why.
I'm like munching. So I just put in the stats that I have. So I go in and kind of present a little bit about the offer so that they can't miss anything, because that's been happening to me. So it's pissing me off. In case you can't read the offer, here's what it is. And then I go in and talk about their lending in a paragraph. I talk about any kind of inspection, things like that, if they're handy. I might vary a little bit that might sound a little lovish in the email as well, just to kind of connect. And then lastly, here's what you get when you work with me: who Keller Williams is, who I am, what I've done so far, how easy I am to work with, that I have a transaction coordinator, that, or whatever kind of team that you have that's going to be helping you get through the transaction, and how easy it's going to be. So whether that's your numbers or it's your personality or both. Hopefully they're not running from me, but
Now,
oh,
Can I
her
give you
again.
can I give you a few of my top suggestions? I gotta run at noon. So first, I'd see if you can get the listing agent to tell you the top 3 most important things to the seller, because we all assume quick close, highest price, that kind of stuff, but the seller may want a long close with a free back. So if you can ask what's most important to your seller and get that information from them, that's huge. Then you can structure your offer correctly. I'm with Clinton, call, text, email. If you're getting 30 offers, you're gonna miss stuff. So you're gonna miss that, hey, my buyer's paying for your title policy. You know, you're gonna miss those little things. So make sure you call, text, email, and bullet point, you know, everything that's great. Like I said, 95% of what I'm seeing has an appraisal gap or appraisal waiver. So just making sure that your clients with low down payments are looking at down payment assistance options so they can have a gap. If you can do a waiver instead of a gap, I think it's more powerful. It's less math for the seller. So they don't have to go, all right, I listed at 500, they offered 6 with a $45,000 appraisal gap. So really they're offering 545. So if you can do a waiver over a gap, that's gonna less math for the seller. It's just it sounds better too. There's less risk for the seller with a waiver. And that's just something you have to call us about before you submit the offer if you're going to do a waiver, so we can tell you whether it's a true waiver or they're just putting so much down, they're just waiving objections. If you get them to us quick enough, we can do a full pre-underwrite so that they're 100% underwritten, meaning if Donna and Anna and your bosses are okay with it, you could potentially waive loan termination deadlines. But we'd have a full underwrite, so they'd be approved. So as long as they don't quit their job, get fired, or buy a Ferrari, then we should be okay.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan of waiving the loan termination deadline because of
I
their
knew you
money
weren't.
being hard. No, I'm not.
But technically we have them underwritten at that
Yeah.
point. So, but that's what we're seeing. And then I would just say, call us before you submit the offer so that we can plan and coordinate. Agents, what I've seen from listing agents is they're really impressed when you talk to us, you submit the offer, and then I'm calling 5 minutes later. They're like, wow, this team, they're a team, they're on it, they're connected, they're working together, and it comes across really good.
Yeah.
We can do all the quick closes. We can do bridge loans, HELOCs if they have a home to sell, so they don't have to do contingent.
Yeah, being creative, I think, is so important inside of this market. And Clinton, one of the things that I love the most about your suggestion is we're seeing a rise right now. I don't know if you guys are seeing it, of the agent who doesn't answer their phone. I know I'm going to get 72 offers on this property. I put everything I think you need to know in the MLS. Don't call me this weekend, right? What
Yeah,
do you
I'm
do?
starting to get voicemails that say, if you're a lender, we will call you.
Mm-hmm. So how do you break through inside of that? And here's my suggestion, right? Make sure you have their cell phone and use text message to break through and do something unique. Maybe it's a video. Maybe in your quick recap, you're offering to review the offer over margaritas, right? Or, hey, it's Tuesday and we're submitting an offer. Who submits an offer on Tuesday, right? Whatever that is, if you can break through to make a connection with that listing agent, you've got to set yourself apart. They're not going to answer the phone, right? They've already set that up. Their voicemail's full. They've got messages in the MLS. They might not even be doing much more than a glance at their text messages, right? So how can you break through there? And I think video is a great medium for that.
Social media too, by the way. I think that if you're to reach out, I mean, not that it's going to necessarily go to them, but we all have a lot of mutual friends, and so that's kind of another outlet, of being able to get in front of them. So
yeah. How can you connect? Because that connection can go a really long way to the conversation that they're then having with the seller. Couple of things that I think are really important in this market. When you don't win the offer, and you might not, a higher number than typically of homes are falling out right now. So in the MLS, you can see homes that fall out and go back in, and that's not even telling the whole story, because how many homes are falling out of contract and there's a backup offer and they don't even change the MLS status? They should, and they're not. Right? How often is this happening? What does that conversation look like with the agent after you lost the offer, right? And then are you finding out what it takes to be in a backup position, right? You can resubmit an offer after they've selected one that's better than your original offer if you know how to win, so you can be in a backup position and beat out everybody else. What does that relationship look like? Are you asking the listing agent important questions, right? Like, what would have taken to win? How could we have changed this offer to have won? What would that look like? And then are you maintaining that relationship and following up on the homes that your clients wrote offers on and watching them in the MLS to see when they fall out, or reaching out to that listing agent, hey, are you finding out when they have inspection deadlines, right? Because that's when a lot of this is falling out, is over the inspection, right? Gwen, you've had some success as a backup.
I've presented a couple that were official backups that never went anywhere. However, I had an FHA buyer. They're also with Guild. And I thought, oh gosh, we're going to be here forever. I'm going to go gray over this one. And there was a cash offer that beat us. And the cash people started messing around, doing a little bait and switch and around inspection. And she called and said, do you still want it? Of course, I was like, yeah. And then I called my buyer, you still want it, right? And that one closes tomorrow. So it's what I'm hearing in what you just said, and just want to point out, is although the frustration level can be super high when you are the bridesmaid again and never the bride, make kind of fun and keep it light with the listing agent. We've been on the listing side too, and it's super frustrating to try to figure out who you should pick and guiding your seller through all that. But you're not going to get a call back to be backup or to go in primary position if you were a jerk. They'll skip you. So don't be a jerk, even though you're frustrated.
When the key word here that you stated was callback. If you're the listing agent and you get multiple listings, call and thank everybody for giving you for putting in the offer. Be kind, because you never know.
The reality is a lot of that's not happening.
That's true.
And,
That's true.
and so what we can control in that circumstance, however, is the impression that is the attempt on the impression we leave with the listing agent. Right? If they're non-responsive or not getting back to you, how can you break through? What can we do that's different and unique to be able to stand out and create a connection?
Well, Anna, and what if after we're the bridesmaid and we wait a couple of days when things die down for that listing agent? Now they're just signing disclosures and all that jazz, but call them back and say, hey, I just want to thank you for whatever it was, professionalism or their email, because I'm getting emails now, rejection. Thank everyone. And it's done through showing time. Here's a blast and it's done. I'm not getting the phone calls. But then think of something. Yeah, I know it's really tough to be on your side of this as well. And I thought you did it really well. It sticks in their head because guess what? They're going to have another listing and they're going to remember you. Even if it doesn't come back on that one, it may benefit you and your buyer on a future offer. You never know.
Yeah, you guys have seen it, right? Where, I mean, like 10% of the agents in the market do all of the business, right? I mean, so you'll run across the same agents over and over again. You'll do multiple deals with them, or you'll at least show multiples of their properties. So there's an opportunity for that too. All right, before we wrap up today, what's the one hot tip that you've had success with that you want everybody to know? All right, if no one's going to jump in, here's my hot tip. And Donna, you help me with this one. Are we turning over all of the rocks? There was a for sale by owner in the mid 3s on the market for 3 weeks.
Hey,
Did you
you
show
guys,
it?
I'm going to tell you something really hot. I have a whole group that are, I have a number, 1 or 2 are doing expireds. 1 or 2 or 3 are doing for sale by owners, and they're all different parts of the city. Okay, they're not the same. But what I'm finding is that people are afraid to go and contact those for sale by owners, and they think they can do everything we can, but they don't know what the pitfalls are. And I think it's our job to educate them. And I go and get it for sale by owner. Look what Kevin did. Oh my gosh.
Absolutely. At the very least, are you looking for every possible piece of inventory for your buyers?
Yeah.
Right? Do you have a buyer who may have overlooked for sale by owners, right? Is this something that you can get into? Expireds and off market properties, right? Are you exploring those for your buyers too? Are you looking under the rocks, in the cracks and in the corners? Are you going off of the MLS? Are you talking with your fellow agents? Where are you finding those?
And the other thing, Anna, and the other thing is, I am not social media inclined. However, I know many of you are. Are you putting out there, listen, we just sold a house in X subdivision. We need another house. Know anybody that wants to move? Very simple question, but who knows what kind of response you're going to get from it.
Absolutely. All right, you guys, this has been an awesome day. Go do it. Get your clients under contract. Help keep them in the game. Check your mindset. Stay excited with them. Remember their motivation. And partner with your agents. Reach out to other agents in the office, to other agents in the field. See what you've got coming up. See what you can put together. Build those relationships. Make the connection, particularly when you're working on your buyer's behalf. Do your fiduciary duty. Do all that you can to move them to the front of the pack. It's not always about price. All right. Thank you guys. Have a great afternoon. We'll see you next week.
Thanks so much.